this function has evolved from treasurer role as it was understood, which was literally a khazanchi, to what it is today. Today, perhaps in every company, at least the large ones, a treasurer's role, we all know, is a coveted role. It's an extremely specialized role, and it is something which people aspire for. I think the treasurer's role, which used to be that a CFO or the CEO, as the case may be, would fundamentally tell what is the money requirement, when do we need it. He was supposed to do that. I think that has had a dramatic change. And today's requirement from a successful treasurer is he has no option but to understand every little aspect of business. Not just finance, not just the P&L and balance sheet, the technology, the competition, evolving technologies. If I take the telecom parlance, I think the treasurer will have to be absolutely up to date in terms of what the new competition in form of Reliance Jio is coming, what could that do, how would they fare with just the 4G and without 3G, and so on. I'm sure in every industry there will be aspects. Therefore, a treasurer, from being a finance person, to my mind has no choice today but to kind of at least become a general manager in his knowledge. He has got to understand every part of the business, because he will be asked questions which he has got to answer. In that sense, I think he starts shadowing the CFO and is akin to a CFO in terms of his knowledge, in terms of his contribution to the business, and in partnering with the operations. The other requirement which I think all of you today face is constant innovation, because the world is changing. The options by which you can perform your duties are changing, and obviously, since you are the brightest, I'm sure you always have this urge, and you always raise the bar for yourself, not for anybody else, but for yourself, in terms of getting better terms, in being more innovative, in expanding the base from which you can raise funds, and so on. I also feel that in terms of the requirement, since a treasurer has to understand every aspect, naturally he has also got to address all the constituents and the stakeholders. And therefore, one big requirement from a treasurer, to me at least, is he has got to be able to move away from the financial jargon to a simplified version of whatever he is doing, to be able to address the non-financial stakeholders. That would include the boards, some members of the audit committee, the general functional heads of others, the senior management, and that I think must never be underestimated, because unless a treasurer can make other people understand his point of view and the risks which he sees in the organization vis-a-vis the treasury function, he will never get their support. Therefore, simplification is a big requirement. And finally, of course, as a part of risk management, the fundamental risk I find is the treasurers could lose control of self-discipline. And that's where Anurag was saying, I've actually forgotten about that debate with Mohan. There was this, I remember now, big debate whether a treasury function should be a profit center or should it be a defensive strategy. Well, by and large, it would depend on every organization. My view always is a treasury, unless it's in a financial services company where the whole business is about treasury, will have to be a defensive function. Because the reason that business exists and how it earns has to be something different. The operations have to be something different. A treasury has got to be a function which is going to keep things in check, which will ensure that the risks that you're taking are calculated and sensible risks. Therefore, I would still feel that for operating companies where the business is other than finances, a treasury should be a little cautious. It should be defensive.